So police brutality didn't start today, it has been since way back. And sadly, Kunle Adepoju was a victim of this brutality and gruesome murder in 1971. Kunle Adepoju was a student of University of Ibadan, a second-year agricultural economics student in 1971, and 53 years later, he would be famously remembered for being the first student victim of police brutality and the first to be murdered on the soil of tertiary institution. Kunle Adepoju, a second-year agricultural economics student in University of Ibadan, he was an easygoing, reserved and studious gentleman. He was the second of the 5 sons in his family, a choir boy at St. Anne Church where his family worshipped since its foundation. He was acknowledged as the best cook among his brothers, often assisting his mother prepare the meals she sold. Kunle had the best life ahead of him. His parents loved him and looked forward to a worthy son in future. Sadly, he was taken away during a protest by those who swore to serve and protect the people. So in January 1971, the resident student of Nnamdi Azikiwe Hall in University of Ibadan made allegations and petitioned the university authorities about the mismanagement, inefficient and poor catering service by the manageress, Miss Grace Akpankpa. The students complained of poor feeding service and lack of quality meals in the campus, so they demanded that Miss Grace should be removed from office, but the school management turned deaf ear to their request. The students saw that the vice chancellor, Professor Thomas Lambo, was not doing anything about the issue, and so they decided to make a protest in the school campus, a peaceful one actually. The vice chancellor heard of the student plan to protest, so he invited police officers in order to forestall the protest and plan. So on February 1st, 1971, the resident student of Nnamdi Azikiwe Hall came out in large number for the protest. They were all over the campus and was marching towards the chancellor's office, though Kunle Adepoju himself was not supposed to be a part of that protest because it was not from his hall. But as he was coming back from his lecture class and was trying to make his way back to his own hall, he came upon the clash between the protesting students and the police force, and while he was still trying to navigate his way, the police officers began to shoot sporadically, and as some students were trying to protect themselves, Kunle bent over to help an injured student in the crowd when he was fatally shot. He was unalive by a police officer, and in no time, the other students all disappeared. His body was dumped somewhere beside a drainage and was later picked up from the gutter where he fell and rushed him to Jaja Clinic where he was confirmed dead. Adepoju's body was left in front of Queen Elizabeth Hall for 3 days. He was wrapped in white linen materials and neglected till February 4th, when the news of his death was broken to his parents. The university authority didn't deem it fit to notify Kunle's parents of his death until a day to his burial, when his mother heard of his death through a radio broadcast. He was buried on 5th February 1971, and at his burial there were over 50,000 persons in attendance. He remains the first student to be brutalized and murdered by a police officer in a tertiary institution. And fast forward to today, there had been records and records of police brutality and murder of students in the school campus and even outside the area. The same case could be traced back to the 2020 EndSARS period, where a lot of lives and properties were missing.